So guys, let's work with some materials for intermediate level. So let's get started. Welcome to the UK. There are four countries in the UK: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. The UK is a monarchy. The Queen is the head of state, but she can't make political decisions. The capital cities are London, Cardiff, Edinburgh, and Belfast. London has got a population of 7.8 million. There are two official languages in the UK: English and Welsh. The UK hasn't got a football team because each country plays separately. Nearly 61 million people live in the UK and about 30 million tourists visit every year. The UK's highest mountain is Ben Nevis in Scotland. The longest river is the Severn. It's 344 kilometers long. Women. Nobel Prize winners. There are 6 Nobel Prizes every year for literature, peace, economics, medicine, physics, and chemistry. The first Nobel Prizes were in 1901. Their founder was Alfred Nobel, a Swedish scientist, inventor, and author. Nobel was the inventor of dynamite, but he was also a pacifist. Doris Lessing is a famous British writer. Her books include The Golden Notebook and The Grass is Singing. In 2007, she was the oldest person to win a Nobel Prize at the age of 87. In addition to being a writer, Doris Lessing was also a campaigner against apartheid in South Africa. In 2004, Wangari Maathai was the first African woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Her great achievement was to plant trees in Kenya. When Wangari was young, there were a lot of trees in her country, but later there was a process of deforestation. As a result, there wasn't enough food and clean water. Wangari and her friends were very hard working. They planted 30 million trees. Gertrude Allien was an American biochemist. She was the winner of the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1988. When Gertrude was young, there weren't many opportunities for female scientists, but she was confident, and in the end her work was very important. Her inventions include drugs for diseases like malaria and leukemia. Marie Curie was a Polish scientist and she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. In fact, she was the winner of 2 Nobel Prizes for physics in 1903 and chemistry 1911. Marie Curie's great discovery was radium. In the family, there were 3 Nobel Prize winners: Marie Curie, her husband Pierre, and their daughter Irene. Win a race, score a goal, pass an exam, write a novel, win a prize, get a certificate, invent something, make a scientific discovery, go on an expedition, do voluntary work. Are you a, are you a saver or a spender? Young people and money. The average pocket money for British teenagers is about £10 per week. A lot of young people also get money for doing jobs in the house. The average is £2.77 for cleaning the house and £3.50 for washing the car. Imagine you win £100. What do you do? I go shopping and spend it all. I save it all to buy something big later. I save £50 and then buy presents for my family. Do you ever borrow money? No, never, but I sometimes lend it to my friends. Yes, I do. I often borrow money from my parents and friends. Sometimes, but I always return it quickly. How much money do you usually spend every week? It depends. Some weeks I spend a lot, but other weeks I save money. Too much. I always spend all my pocket money. It's never enough. I don't spend much. I usually save all my pocket money. Have you got a bank account? Yes, I have. I always put my birthday and Christmas money in there. Yes, I have, but I haven't got much money in it. No, I haven't, but I know I should open one soon. How many times a month do you go shopping? Probably about once or twice a month. I buy clothes or CDs. Too many times. I love going shopping and I buy too many things. I usually just go window shopping. I look, but I don't buy. What are your hopes for the future? I want to travel around the world and have an interesting life. I want to buy a nice house and a car and have enough money to be comfortable. I just want to be happy. Money isn't really important. Verbs related to money: waste, lose, swap, save, win, advertise, buy, sell, earn, spend, lend, borrow. Banknote, coin, credit card, check, currency, exchange rate, price, cash, purse, wallet. Alcatraz, from prison to peace center. Alcatraz was probably America's most famous prison. Its convicts included the notorious gangster Al Capone. Now the island of Alcatraz is a national park, but the Global Peace Foundation is trying to change the old prison into a peace center. However, many people think that Alcatraz is too important in American history to destroy. Alcatraz was a prison for 29 years. When it opened, people said that it was impossible to escape from. There were 14 escape attempts, but most of the criminals that ran away did not survive. In 1962, three prisoners escaped through a tunnel. They were wearing their blue prison uniforms, and they made a small boat to cross the water. Alcatraz is only 1 mile from San Francisco, but the water is very cold and there are sharks. Did the prisoners escape? Nobody knows. They simply disappeared. The following year, the prison closed. Native Americans went to live on the island, and they stayed there for 2 years. Now, Native Americans sometimes celebrate special days on the island of Alcatraz, including Thanksgiving. But most people will always remember Alcatraz as America's most high security prison. Do you ever watch gangster films? How often do you watch American films? When did you last watch an American film? Who are the most famous criminals in your country? What other famous places do you know in the USA? The rescue services. In the UK, all the rescue services are free. Trained volunteers work for mountain rescue, cave rescue, and the RNLA, Royal National Lifeboat Institution. Every year they rescue thousands of people. If you need their help, just call 999. Glenn Marsh is a volunteer at a lifeboat station in Cornwall in the southwest of England. Here he tells us more about his experiences. How old were you when you became a volunteer? I started when I was 17. You can join before then, but I've always wanted to be in the RNLA. RNLI. Sorry. I saw one rescue on TV when I was a boy, and that was it. How many times have you been out on rescue? During the last year, I've been on 3 rescue missions. We call them shouts. What happens if you're at work when you get a shout? Well, I'm still at college, so it isn't a problem. I work part time in a shop, but I've been lucky. I've never had a shout while I was working. Have you ever saved someone's life? Yes, I have. On one rescue, there was a 14-year-old girl who were windsurfing with her dad. A storm started and she went under the water. She was suffering from hypothermia. Has the lifeboat ever been in serious danger? No, it hasn't. These boats are designed for bad conditions and the crew is very well trained. How do you and the team keep fit? We usually train twice a week. We often go swimming or surfing. I also enjoy mountain biking in my free time. What does your family think about you being a volunteer? My mom sometimes gets worried, but in general, they're all very supportive. Would you like to get paid for this job? No, I do this because I love it. Everyone at the RNLI is a volunteer. Do you ever get annoyed with people who put their lives at risk? I'm usually quite patient, but sometimes it's a bit annoying when people do stupid things, like not wearing a life jacket or going to sea in bad weather conditions. Surfing, snowboarding, rock climbing, caving, motor racing, parachuting, kayaking, roller skating, mountain biking, ice climbing. Interactive TV, mobile phone, wireless broadband, MP3 player, instant messaging, text message, social networking site, online gaming, World Wide Web, ebook. Antarctic cruise. See huge icebergs, watch penguins and whales. Join us on a fascinating trip to the world's most remote continent. We'll travel on a special ship called the Polar Star. First, your guide will meet you at the airport in Buenos Aires. Then, you'll board the ship in Ushuaia, the world's famous southern city. The Polar Star has got a gym, restaurant, and shop. It carries about 100 passengers, so you'll make lots of new friends. During your journey to the South Pole, you'll see some amazing scenery. If you're lucky, you'll also see whales, seals, and seabirds. If you've got any questions, our team of experts will be there to help you. Every day we'll go on excursions if the weather isn't too bad. One of our most popular trips is a visit to the penguin colonies on Half Moon. You'll see the tiny penguin chicks if you visit in February. You can also an afternoon at the bowling. Oh, you can also spend an afternoon at the boiling hot springs of Pendulum Cove. If you'll be able to go for a swim. There's lots of time to enjoy the trip because it's light for 20 hours a day during the Antarctic summer. If you choose this holiday, you won't be disappointed. It's a unique opportunity to visit the Earth's final frontier and a once in a lifetime experience for lovers of adventure. Global issues: war, peace, terrorism, immigration, famine, malnutrition, poverty, racism, pollution, the environment, disease, illiteracy. My perfect home rules. I only have to tidy my bedroom once a month. Everyone must knock on the door before coming into my room. My friend can stay every weekend. I don't have to get up until 11 o'clock during the holidays. I can stay out until midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. I can walk the dog, but I don't have to feed it every day. My brothers have to do all the other household chores. I can choose what to watch on TV whenever I want. My brothers can't use the computer between 5 and 10 o'clock in the evening. Everyone in my family must agree to these rules. Household chores. Make the bed, take the rubbish out, do the shopping, do the ironing, do the washing up, make dinner, do the vacuuming, clean the house, put the washing machine on, tidy your room, mop the floor, unload the dishwasher. Read Natasha's description. This picture was taken last summer when I was 14 years old. I think the picture was taken by my mother. As you can see, I'm in the part behind the Kunstkamera Museum. I was on holiday with my family in St. Petersburg. In this photo, I'm wearing a flowery dress. I'm also wearing a silver chain and silver earrings, which were given to me by my best friend. I think they were made in Asia. In this picture, I'm wearing a bracelet which I bought in a craft shop in Peterhof. I really like it. I think I look happy in this picture. I was on a holiday, so I was feeling very relaxed. This picture reflects my personality because I'm usually quite easygoing and I don't get stressed very often. I've kept the picture because it reminds me of being on holiday. Thunderbird Park. If you go to Victoria in the Canadian region of British Columbia, you must visit Thunderbird Park. It's a wonderful place full of huge totem poles. It's next to the Royal British Columbia Museum, where you can see native Canadian masks, jewelry, and costumes. Thunderbird Park was opened in 1941 and it's got both historical and modern totem poles. You can even buy new totem poles there, but they're very expensive. That's because they take a long time to make. If you ordered one now, you'd have to wait about a year. Traditional totem poles were made for different reasons. They were often used to tell stories or to remember historic events. The poles are made of cedar wood. The tree trunk is carved and decorated with figures and symbols. Then it's painted in bright colors. Thunderbird Park has got a great collection, but it hasn't got the world's tallest totem pole. That's in Allard Bay, which is also in British Columbia. It's 56 meters tall, but it's made from 2 tree trunks. Maybe that's cheating. Muscles. Read about muscles and look at the diagram. Answer the questions. Muscles are needed for movement. All muscles are made of muscle fibers which contract or relax. Some muscles work automatically, for example, the muscles in the heart which pump blood, or the muscles in the intestines which move food through the body. Other muscles are attached to bones by tendons. Many muscles in the body work in pairs. One muscle pulls in one direction and the others pulls in the opposite direction. Why do we need muscles? What are 2 examples of muscles which work automatically? How are muscles attached to bones? Give the names of a pair of muscles which work together in the arm. Dmitry Mendeleev and the periodic table. In the past, people believed that the world was made of 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. In 1789, the French chemist Antoine Laurent de Lavoisier published the first list of elements including oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. As scientists began to identify new elements, they tried to organize them in a logical sequence. Dmitry Mendeleev was professor of chemistry at St. Petersburg University in Russia. He developed an early version of the periodic table published in 1869. He arranged the elements into a table so that elements with similar characteristics are in the same vertical groups. The greenhouse effect. Radiation from the sun travels through the atmosphere. The Earth's surface in the atmosphere reflects some of the solar radiation. The Earth's surface absorbs most of the solar radiation and temperature rises. The Earth's surface releases heat in the form of infrared radiation. Some of the infrared radiation level travels out of the atmosphere. Some heat is absorbed by the greenhouse gases and is trapped in the atmosphere, and the Earth's temperature rises. Global warming. In the 20th century, human activity began to have a serious effect on the balance of the greenhouse gases. More and more carbon dioxide went into the atmosphere because of the burning of fossil fuels for energy and because of the destruction of forests. The result of this human activity is that there is more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, so more heat is trapped, and the result is global warming. The Silk Road. For thousands of years, caravans of traders and merchants traveled between Asia and Europe buying and selling products. Huge caravans of camels traveled slowly along the 8,000 kilometers route towards the east carrying gold and glass to China, and then traveled back towards the west carrying silk and other products. The overland route was called the Silk Road because it was the route that silk traveled from China to Europe. The overland trading routes between the east and west developed around 300 BC. The popularity of silk in the Roman and Byzantine empires increased trade along the routes. Great cosmopolitan cities grew up along the routes where different cultures, religions, ideas, and languages were found. The Silk Road became less important when traders started to carry their products by sea. Trading ships carried products, and the overland Silk Road route was used less. The English language. English is the first language in about 70 countries, and there are more than 400 million people who speak it perfectly. Around the world, there are between 350 and 380 million people who can speak English well as a second language. English comes from a mixture of different influences, including the old Anglo-Saxon language and French. It's also got a little bit of Norse, Greek, and Latin in it. There are about 300,000 words in a complete English dictionary, but most people usually use about 30,000 words. The English alphabet has got 26 letters. It isn't as long as some other European alphabets. Hungarian, for example, has got 40 letters. The three English words that people use most often are the, of, and to. The word sorry isn't in the top 10, which is surprising because British people say sorry nearly 2 million times during their life. Job sectors: agriculture, engineering, business, catering, construction, education, health and social care, law, retail, the media, the performing arts, tourism. Sharon: I can't say I do anything too exciting in my free time. I mean, I don't have any real hobbies, but I do spend a lot of time on the internet and especially on Facebook. I log on every afternoon after school. All of my classmates are on Facebook. We send virtual gifts to one another, we exchange music, videos, and we chat. It's a good place to make new friends and to stay in contact with the friends you already have. Apart from that, I sometimes watch TV in the evening, especially the music channels, and on Saturdays I always go to the cinema. But I don't have any special hobbies like other people. I'm not the right person to ask about leisure time activities. You see, I never have any free time. I wake up at 5:30 every morning so that I can go to the pool and train for 2 hours. Believe me, it's no fun on a cold winter's day. Then I go to school, and sometimes it's hard not to fall asleep in class. In the afternoon, I have another 2 hours of training before I go home and do my homework. These days, I'm training for the European Championship, so it's even worse at the weekends. I wouldn't call swimming a hobby though. Since I want to be a professional swimmer, I take it very seriously. It's the most important thing in my life right now. School comes second. I can't understand it when people my age say they don't have time for any hobbies. I think they're just lazy. I have a lot of things to do besides school. Even though I'm in the school theater club, have French classes in the afternoon, and go to the gym 3 times a week, I still do have lots of hobbies. I collect phone cards and I already have more than 3,000. I play basketball and volleyball with my friends at least once a week. I write poems and I often cook for my family and sometimes for friends too. In fact, at the moment, I'm baking a cake for my best friends. It's her birthday today. I spend almost all my free time playing music. I play the drums. My parents don't like it very much because of the noise, but they know how much I enjoy it, so they hardly ever tell me to stop. Fortunately, my sister also likes music. She plays the electric guitar, so most evenings we play together. Actually, she's playing at the moment. The terrible noise you can hear comes from her room. We've even written a few songs together, and we're thinking of making a demo for a CD. You never know, one day we might be a famous rock band. Youth Volunteer Service Abroad. Self development and learning through international volunteer work. Youth Volunteer Service Abroad is a 1 year overseas program that provides an opportunity for young people to work in volunteer organizations in many developing countries around the world. A summer job. Looking for something to do over the summer holidays? Can you speak any foreign languages? Are you a sociable and reliable person? Have you worked in a shop before? The Sea Breeze gift shop is looking for someone to help out during the busy months of July and August. If you're interested, apply in writing to Jim Manas, g.manas at notgalshop.com. Okay, so those are some useful materials I found for intermediate level students. Thank you for watching. Support my channel, put like and subscribe.